Hello everyone. I'm very pleased to see you all here, and I'm really very happy that we gathered for another session of Guerilla University on the initiative of PhD in One Night, international platform for aesthetic experimentation for all, and this time with in collaboration with Orangeries de Bierbais. In Belgium, so Fondation Nacelle and Laboratory for Radical Peace that we, with some of you present, installed and inaugurated on the 1st May last year. So I'm very happy to, and I would like to thank Anders Fjeld, here present, to host us here in this Kultur Académie Nirvegien center dealing between philosophy and art, artistic activities. Or philosophy mostly? Mostly philosophy, yeah. And then we are just invading the day. And then Anders was also our, we could say, DG Zoom, because when we opened during the COVID time Guerilla University sessions on Zoom, it was in collaboration with Rojava University in northern Syria that here present Gulistan, she will speak few minutes later. She was responsible of the international affairs of this university, which is on the temporary liberated territories in northern Syria called Rojava. In this region there are many universities which are self-organized and opened by the will of doing some peace actions and in the middle of the war. So in that moment, Jacques Ránsiier also accepted very kindly to be with us for the inauguration of Guerilla University. It was on 20th of October 2020. And in the same time, so it was Anders was there, Jacques and Mansour, our friend who will be on Zoom, who is now in Kurdish part of Iraq teaching philosophy, but he will be later today on Zoom. So what coincided with our action was the action of green breads that Gulistan will present today. So planting 4 million trees in the war zone. So it was a kind of action which really parallelly with our Guerilla University was growing, and then it's really very nice to see where they are today. After 2 years, they received also Daniel Mitterrand Prize for their effort and ecological action in the middle of the war. So Gulistan will say, and I would just like to say that we are dedicated this day to our Kurdish friends who in the last earthquakes lost many of their family members and friends because the regions in Turkey and in Syria were the most attacked by this earthquake. So as we are with them dreaming and constructing the new imaginaries for the future, so this day is some kind of our contribution for their struggle, but on the peaceful means. So this day also is, as you know, a kind of comments on our thesis, which was a collective effort and idea to write some text inspired by Jacques Ránsiier, but he will say that it's not completely what he said, that we are misunderstanding some things, but this is very nice then to meet and to see what are the differences in our interpretations or let's say resonances and reverberations. My short intervention on the beginning is just, so you could just show, this is a Guerilla University sign, but then it is, yeah, this is my title, just very short presentation of, inspired by our collective work on thesis and by one answer that Jacques gave during the, this first inauguration of Guerilla University, speaking about the, so it is a thesis number 13, I could give to Costa because I don't have a good class, it's 13 theses, you could just, 13 theses is just very short one. 13 theses.
I should read it.
Yeah, just very briefly.
Man's relationship to nature has always been double. Afforestation and tree planting, the extension of nature's will by human action, is not always a sign of emancipatory action, as Jacques Ránsiier remarks, quote, The art of gardening has always been a metaphor for the constitution of a human community that can be democratic or despotic as well. Tyrants also may think of themselves as gardeners, lovingly growing the seeds that God entrusted to their care. So even though reforestation is an important issue in Rojava, the point is not about gardening, it is about the relation between earth and sky, meaning the relation between struggles and dreams, or the existing and the non-existing. Certainly it is what emancipation is about, making, quote, what does not exist, a world of equality which is to be constructed, take the place of what exists, a world of inequality which is day after day experienced as the only possible world.
Yes, thank you. So this is this thesis which really, for me, I was a lot thinking about this topic of examples, as Rojava is one. I was just trying to understand why it is so important and what is in this action finally. And then, yeah, it is about something about dreams and reconfigurations. And I found just very shortly two examples. One, let's say, on the other side of what we would like to show. So this is this first action of forestation, which was this big action of the Great Plan for the Transformation of Nature. Veliko je preobrazjevanje prirodi. So this is on October 20th. So this is for me a negative example of the intervention of the state in this so human intervention in nature. So on the October 20th, 1948, the Soviet government announced the world's first state-centered program to reverse human-induced climate change. A grandiose plan to construct 5 to 7 million hectares of forest in the Russian south. However, the plan collapsed upon Stalin's death in 1953 because of a fundamental contradiction at the plan's heart. You could go very quickly. At first, the Stalin plan advanced the basically conservative vision of restoring the steppes to an imagined prehistoric state. But soon, a group of radical scientists advancing untested civil cultural theories managed to take control. The resulting struggle between the old approach and the new brought about the plan's collapse. So, this is the detail of this. Also, it was a very huge let's say, propaganda and visibility of this action. It was given in the Soviet Union, and we will come to the Shostakovich's oratorio that I would like just to put 2 minutes of it, so you will. And that was also, of course, the mirror of the action in the United States, previous action. So Russia really looked at this example. So here, could you click here, and then we could just. Okay, we just put in the big one. Just a few 1 minute, let's say, of this oratorio. It is Shostakovich, as you know, had very specific relation with the state, but he accepted to participate in this action and had a Stalin Prize for this composition. Listen more, because we have a lot of things. It exists, yeah, this is it. So those were the posters for this. That was the main poster. I couldn't find it bigger. So this is one example. Then there is one example, a historical in Yugoslav experience. This is in the Second World War. The deep nature was a base for the partisan free temporary territories, Yugoslav anti-fascists who organized schools, but schools in the wood, then hospitals, and printing machines and printed, so they were printed, but in the deep forest. So you could just go very quickly. So this is today Drežnica. For example, Drežnica is one of those territories, this is a friend, Sanja Horvatinčić, who with the Institute of history of art in Zagreb, is now really researching all the impacts that at the time this territory had, but inviting biologists, archaeologists to come, and historians, of course, but also art historians. And this is one of those examples, nature as ally, because all those holes that you see and deep secrets of nature were used, of course, in favor of Yugoslav partisans, and this is what exactly Koča Popović, commandant of the first proletarian brigade, but one philosopher and surrealist, he said Germans had a big technique, they have incredible technology, but we have nature as an ally. So we know, and we have a local people to show us the secret of this nature. So this is how, basically, this is Petrova Gora, how it was always, those hospitals were always deeply in the nature, of course, and because those were the free temporary territories. And you see, this is, for example, what today there is a kind of sign in deep nature of remembering that there was a hospital or some action of Yugoslav partisans with the local population. So this is unfortunately state of some of those monuments, and this is for me very beautiful photo. I was very attracted to working on the topic of free temporary territory, and I didn't know that those girls are from Dresnica, which Sanja Horotić told me. So this is how basically this free temporary territory worked, but always in the deep nature. And this is one thing that we saw. It is Petrova Gora. I saw this grave. So this is a grave of one doctor who in the 70s wanted to be buried in the deep of forest, because he was treating during the Second World War people there, and he said, this is the place where I have to rest. So this is one example, and then I come to the Rožava example. Okay. And this is, just very shortly, some images, because Gulistan is now coming. So this is the action, how all the green bread, and then thanks to Gulistan, I would like also that Jacques see this photo, because this is how all the action started. This is the one intervention of one artist that no one understood this art. So it was the second image is very significant because it's plastic palms, and so that was the action where the people from Rožava said, but why we are not doing something for real? Because why we need these palms? So this was then intervention of art going to the plantation action. So this is when we met people from Rožava University. They were on the point to, just in the middle of the desert, with the students, with the local population, start to plant on everyday basis, but including all population. So instead of going to the war, they started to really combine. Just if you could put Gulistan, this image is Gulistan was in Bierbais to plant the olive of peace in Orangeries de Bierbais. So Gulistan, please could you come? Est-ce que tu peux venir? C'est Slobodan qui va lire la traduction pendant que tu parles. Et puis c'est dans notre ordinateur, il y a la présentation de Gulistan, il y a PowerPoint. So I'm just inviting Gulistan to come, and then it's there is Petra knows where it is. Vi možete stanete negdje i da dok ona priča, ne znam ja kako da se čekate. Moi je pense que le mieux c'est que lui après certaines phrases, parce qu'on a toute la traduction. Ça te va? Oui, c'est ça. Posle svakog paragrafa Slobodana će ona da... You will just read, yeah, okay, great. Yes.
Merci Ivana, merci beaucoup. Merci. Je suis très contente d'être ici en présence de Jacques Ránsiier et de vous tous pour profiter de ma présence pour présenter notre projet écologique qu'on a commencé au nord-est de la Syrie en contexte de guerre. Merci beaucoup.
So she is very pleased, Gulistan, to be here, and she would like just to present the action that they started in the context of the war, perpetual war. Yeah.
Oui, Pour profiter un peu du temps, je vais commencer par vous présenter en général, vous définir un peu qu'est-ce que ça veut dire les tresses vertes. Les tresses vertes, en fait, l'association des tresses vertes est une initiative écologique populaire née en octobre 2020 en contexte de guerre. Elle est lancée par une équipe de 8 personnes de différentes régions du nord-est de la Syrie et du Rojava. Basée à Kamishlo, elle est active dans la région du nord-est de la Syrie. Le projet a commencé à zéro budget sur une base de volontariat. Elle vise à intensifier les efforts de reforestation en mobilisant largement la société civile et en encourageant à travers cette mobilisation citoyenne l'auto-administration et les municipalités à mettre les moyens nécessaires pour faire face aux fortes dégradations écologiques dans la région.
The Green Braids Project, the general presentation. Number 1. The Association of Green Braids is a popular ecological initiative born in October 2020 in the context of war. It was launched by a team of 8 people from different Rojava regions. Based in Klavshilo, it is active in the northeast region of Syria. The project started at zero budget on a voluntary basis. It aims to intensify the reforestation efforts by widely mobilizing civil society and by encouraging through the citizen mobilization, self-administration and municipalities to put necessary means to cope with the severe ecological degradation in the region.
Est-ce que tu peux montrer les tresses, le logo?
Le logo.
En fait, pourquoi ce logo? Pourquoi les tresses vertes? Les tresses vertes symbolisent les tresses des femmes et relient la société actuelle à ses racines anciennes. Les femmes ont contribué de manière significative à son développement tout au long de l'histoire ancienne des civilisations de la Mésopotamie grâce à la découverte de l'agriculture. Les tresses aussi, c'est pour rendre hommage à toute femme qui lutte. Les tresses vertes aussi symbolisent également la lumière, la verdure et la vie contre l'obscurantisme et la mort.
The green braids symbolize the braids of women and connect the current society to its ancient roots. Women have contributed significantly to its development through the ancient history of civilizations of Mesopotamia, thanks to the discovery of agriculture. To honor every woman who struggles, the green braids also symbolize light, greenery, and life against obscurantism and death. What needs and problems does this project address? Confronting destructive policy and finding alternative solutions.
Thank you. Comme vous avez vu aussi dans la photo, il y a une sécheresse, c'est l'eau de l'Euphrate, c'est la rivière de l'Euphrate, asséchée par les politiques de l'État turc parce qu'elle coupe l'eau, elle empêche l'eau des grandes rivières, l'Euphrate et le Tigre sur la Syrie, elle coupe l'eau. Il y a une politique qu'elle utilise, l'État turc utilise l'eau comme une arme de guerre. En fait, vous voyez le résultat, c'est l'eau de l'Euphrate qui est... Donc notre action aussi, c'était à commencer comme une réaction contre ces politiques écocidaires contre la région. Là, c'était au texte. En fait, en quels besoins et problèmes répond le projet en contexte de guerre? C'est tout d'abord faire face aux politiques destructrices et trouver des solutions alternatives. Suite à des années de conflits armés et des politiques destructrices, les territoires de la Syrie et notamment la région du nord-est de la Syrie font face à des problèmes catastrophiques sociaux, humanitaires et écologiques en même temps. Orchestrés par le régime de Bachar al-Assad, des investissements dans des champs pétroliers, l'imposition de monocultures intensives de céréales et l'interdiction de planter des arbres ont contribué à l'avancée du désert, l'assèchement des cours d'eau et la pollution de l'air. Les conséquences sociales et sanitaires de ces ravages frappent les populations privées d'eau potable et confrontées à l'augmentation des maladies respiratoires et des cancers.
Following 10 years of armed conflict and destructive policies, the territories of Syria, and in particular the region of northeast Syria, are facing real social, humanitarian and ecological disasters. Orchestrated by the regime of Bashar al-Assad, investments in oil fields, the imposition of monoculture-intensive carols, and the ban on planting trees have contributed to the advancement of the desert, the drying up of rivers and air pollution. The social consequences and health of these devastation hit the population, deprived of drinking water and confronted to the increase in respiratory disease and cancer. Now there is a statistic of the damage to the human population, so that's it.
En fait, il faut que je vous transmette quelques informations aussi. En Syrie, il faut savoir en Syrie que 80% des patients atteints de cancer viennent de la région du nord-est de la Syrie à cause de ces politiques contre les régions de sécheresse aussi et la pollution de l'air. Dans la région en général, il n'y a que 1,5 d'espace vert au Java, au nord-est de la Syrie, alors que les recommandations internationales standards pour cette région sont de 10 à 12%. Dans la région, au moins 5 rivières au Java sont aujourd'hui à sec. Par conséquence, une très grande variété de plantes a disparu.
Okay. So now we are dealing with the concrete consequences. In Syria, 80% of cancer patients come from the northeast regions. There is only 1.5% of green space in Rojava, while international recommendations are 10 to 12%. At least 5 rivers in Rojava are now dry. Consequently, a very large variety of plants disappear.
Ça, c'est la carte du nord-est de la Syrie. Là où vous trouvez les tresses vertes, c'est là qu'on a... c'est à Kamichlou, au centre, qu'on a commencé notre action. Mais après, il y a... l'action s'est répandue, s'est prolongée jusqu'à Kobane et après dans plusieurs villes dans cette région. Voilà. Quelques autres objectifs pour notre association, effectivement, c'est régénérer des milieux sains et vivants. L'association des tresses vertes a pour vocation de tisser à nouveau des liens avec la vie grâce à la création des pépinières, des préparations pour préparer le terrain, campagne de sensibilisation, pour encourager, pour sensibiliser les gens à la création des pépinières. C'est un acte de résistance. Nous espérons, par cette initiative bénévole, à préparer 4 millions de semis de différentes variétés d'arbres à replanter en 5 ans dans l'ensemble de la région.
The Green Bierbais Association aims to once again forge ties with life thanks to the creation of nurseries. Nurseries are not the place where babies are born, but where we plant things. It is an act of resistance. We aspire by this voluntary initiative to prepare 4 million seedlings of different varieties of trees to replant in 5 years to the region. The specific objectives of the project are consolidate the capacity for reproduction of seeding from the Green Bierbais project, in particular on the new Kumshala nursery, strengthening ecological awareness in northeast Syria and more particularly a tree care culture, contributing to the technical support and the capacity building of the project of the Green Bierbais through the exchange with specialists, contributing to preserve, restore health ecosystem and biodiversity, reduce the psychological pressure caused by war by involving the inhabitants of the region in the project.
Il a continué.
Ouais.
Oui. En fait, ces quelques photos montrent, là, les photos précédentes montrent l'écho de notre projet dans les médias locaux, à travers les médias, les différents médias, les journaux, la télévision, les radios, mais aussi également notre présence dans les colloques internationaux.
En Autriche.
En Autriche, en présence de Jacques Ránsiier aussi. Voilà quelques photos pour vous montrer la dimension internationale aussi de ce projet. Donc nous sommes partis d'une petite pépinière de l'université de Rojava à Kamišlo. On a commencé par la première pépinière. Maintenant on a à peu près 10 pépinières dans 10 différentes villes dans cette région. À Raqqa, à Hasakeh, à Amouté, à Kobane aussi, afin d'augmenter la couverture végétale tout en respectant les équilibres naturels, bien sûr. Les essences d'arbres choisies sont adaptées aux écosystèmes et aussi locaux, et l'on verra bientôt fleurir beaucoup de sortes de genres d'arbres. Ça, c'est la mobilisation de la société. Apprentissage et savoir-faire. On a commencé, on ne savait pas comment faire, mais avec le temps, on a appris beaucoup de choses.
Okay. Part of the nursery of 17,000 trees grown on a small piece of land on loan from the university from Rojava to Kamišlo. The association has created new groups of volunteers in many cities of northeast Syria. In order to increase the plant cover while replacing the natural balance, the tree species chosen are adapted to the local ecosystem, and we'll see soon flowering cypresses, pines of Beirut or Aleppo, lime trees and pomegranates to the Al Jazeera region. The goal and ambition is to cover 10% of the territory of the northern and eastern Syria.
Ça, c'est la participation active des femmes aussi dans le processus d'arrosage des plantes. Les femmes participent le plus en fait. C'est selon notre observation. En fait, sur place, on était accompagné aussi par un conseil scientifique, c'est très important. L'initiative se poursuit avec la création de 5 nouvelles pépinières aussi. Et peut-être vous allez traduire et après je continue.
Accompanied by a scientific council, the initiative continues with the creation of 5 new large capacity nurseries by promoting the participation of inhabitants of the territories. The Green Braids engages in popular mobilization, the driving force behind their ambition to regenerate healthy and lively living environment of the northeast Syria, in schools and high schools, civil society organizations, municipalities, collective work is encouraged through awareness campaign on ecological issue and training.
Comme je vous ai dit, on a commencé à zéro budget, mais sur place, on a beaucoup de partenaires qui se sont proposés à nous aider parce qu'on n'a pas, on a commencé et on n'avait pas de ressources financières. On a compté sur les partenaires locaux sur place. On a beaucoup de partenaires. Ce n'est pas la peine de lire. Oui,
Okay.
c'est juste le paragraphe, le petit paragraphe.
Since the launch of the Green Braids, many partners have been approached and/or spontaneously offered to help us, whether in civil society, companies, or institutions. Green Braids acts as a bridge between society and institutions, and catalyst for commitment to ecology. For this project, specifically in Kamišlo, our partners are, let's see, the Kamišlo Sports Union, which rent us land on which to install the nursery to a multi-year contract, Department of Ecology and Municipality of Jazeera. Municipality of Kamišlo, Kamišlo Educational Committee, as well as schools in the region, including students. and/or teacher helps us in preparation of the plant, the watering, as well as preparing or hosting awareness sessions. University of Rojava, which lent us the first plot of land for the startup, and whose members, students, also helps the dynamics. The transport company Ahmed Tamir, which provides us with assistance in transporting soil, tools, etc. Kajin Heavy Machinery Company, Al Jazeera Oil Company, which provides financial assistance to buy plastic bags to place the cutting. What we can learn from these 2 years' experience, a self-learning experience. Should I read this or you?
Yes.
What we can learn from this 2-year experience, a self-learning experience, an act of resistance to face the ecological challenges and traumas of war. The positive and encouraging institutional and social response proves to us that we succeeded in promoting communal work and collective spirit of society. The whole society is mobilizing. For us, it's real revolution. To perpetuate our ambitious project, to develop and strengthening, so that our green braids may persist. We seek to strengthen our source of economic contribution in the region, and so on. Strengthen the visibility of our project in the media. We seek to promote partnership link with ecological organizations around the world. We seek to establish links with experts in the field, written by Justin Sido, Relation Officer, Green Braids Association, Paris.
Yes. Merci beaucoup, Gulistan. C'est toujours un plaisir de voir comment ça se développe, une action qui est partie juste d'une petite étincelle. So it is really great to see how it's developing this project, and we are very happy that Gulistan, who is today, she was, when we met her, she was in Rojava, but now she's a PhD student in Paris, and her topic is mythology, Kurdish oral mythology. So she, if anyone is interested during the post to know what she's doing, so we are really very happy that she's in the same city and that we could see her. It was a big emotion when we met her first time for the real, because for the time it was really through Zoom. So now we are going to our block of thesis before the short break. So we will just now, Elisabetta will just say a few words about how we worked on thesis, and then there is a file, another file there that is going with the thesis, and we are going to read just a few of them, and then a short pause, and then it's a block with Jacques. Yes. Just there is a. Jel možda mu pomogneš? Da se nalazi.
Ne.
Aha, nalazi se u ovome Finder.